Welcome to Brian's Briefing, part of the Brian Nichols Show. I'm Brian Nichols, and in these focused episodes, I dive into key issues, ideas, and principles that shape our world. No frills, no fluff, just straight talk on matters that count. Now, let's get started. Today, we're going to dig into a topic that might seem simple on the surface, but trust me, it's got layers to it like an onion, or I guess in this case, a banana peel. Today we're talking about supply and demand, and we're going to use the example of a banana farmer to really peel back the layers of this economic principle. So the problem is, how do businesses figure out what to charge for their stuff, and why should we care? Let's break this down using our banana farmer friend. Now you might be thinking, Brian, what's the big deal about selling Benny's bananas here? Well, stick with me because this little yellow fruit is going to teach us a big lesson in economics. So let's dig into this banana business, shall we? So our farmer buddy, we'll call him Benny. Benny has a whole bunch of things to think about. First off, what did it cost to grow these bananas? You've got Benny's labor costs, like paying folks to tend the crops, harvest the fruit, and then there's the fertilizer, the equipment, maybe land costs if you're renting. All this adds up, and you need to at least cover these costs just to keep the lights on. But again, it's not just about covering costs. You gotta look at the market too. So how many people out there are craving or demanding bananas? Is it summertime? Is it smoothie season? Or maybe is everybody on a low-carb kick? The demand for your product is going to play a big role in what you can charge. And let's not forget about your competition. Are there other banana farmers in the area? What about other fruits that might steal your thunder? If oranges are dirt cheap, folks might skip bananas altogether. So now you have a decision to make. Do you go high or do you go low with your pricing? If you price your bananas high, you might make a killing on each bunch you sell, but here's the catch. You might not sell as many bananas. People might look at that price tag and say, whoa, okay, I'm just gonna have an apple instead. But on the flip side, if you price the bananas low, you might fly through your inventory. I mean, everyone loves a great deal, right? But now you're making less profit on each banana. So you might sell out, but did you actually make enough to cover those costs and turn a profit? This, my friends, is the heart of supply and demand. And this is a tricky dance that every business has to do, not just Benny and his bananas. It's about finding that sweet spot where you're making enough to stay in business, but your prices aren't so high that customers run away. Now let's zoom out for a bit. This isn't just about bananas. This is the same deal, literally for every business out there. So whether you're selling cars, computers, giving haircuts, whatever it may be, you're always trying to find a balance between profit and sales volume. And this is where it gets really interesting. This whole process is literally happening all around us all the time. Every time you buy something, you are part of this dance. Your choice to buy or not to buy sends a signal back to the sellers about whether their price or their solution or product is right. So what's the answer to this pricing puzzle? Well, from a small L libertarian perspective, it's about letting the free market do its thing. In a free market system, there is no government official saying, hey, bananas can't cost more than 50 cents a pound. Rather, it's all about the market finding its own balance. In this system, as messy as that may sound, it actually helps everyone. How? Great question. Let's break it down. For the seller, Benny, our banana farmer, he can just adjust his prices based on the cost and what's happening in the market. If there's a bad harvest or bananas are scarce, Benny can raise prices and make up for it. And if Benny's got more bananas than he knows what to do with, Benny can then lower the prices and sell more. For the buyer, this system makes sure resources are used efficiently. So if bananas get too pricey, people might switch to other fruits, telling Benny and the other banana farmers to, maybe go and grow more of those fruit. It's like a constant feedback loop that helps match what's being made to what people actually want. Now, I know that there are some folks who will say, well, Brian, what about those greedy businesses that jack up prices just because they can? And I hear you, but here's the thing. In a truly free market, it's competition, not government, that keeps this in check. So if one banana farmer, let's say Bruce, the banana farmer, tries to charge $10 a pound, Benny could easily undercut Bruce at $5 a pound, and people will obviously buy from Benny's bananas versus Bruce. And the cool thing about this system is that it doesn't need to be some bureaucrat in Washington deciding what the quote-unquote right price for bananas should be. But instead, it lets millions of sellers and buyers figure this out on their own. And here's the thing. Is this system perfect? Heck no. Sometimes prices will go way, way up, and then other times they're going to crash down. But over time, it tends to find a middle ground that works both for the sellers and the buyers. And here's the kicker, too. This isn't just about efficiency. It's also about freedom. It's about letting people make their own choices, whether they're buying or selling. It's about trusting folks to make decisions for themselves instead of having those decisions made for them by some faraway authority. All right, folks, now it's time for our challenge of the week. Next time you're at the grocery store, I want you to pick up an item, any item, and try to think about all the stuff that went into this item's price. I want you to think about what it costs to make, how many people want it, and maybe who else is selling it. And then ask yourself, is this a fair price? Would it be better or worse if government stepped in? But don't stop there. Take it a step further. Imagine if the government suddenly said that this item couldn't be sold for more than, half its current price. What would happen to how much of it is available? And how good would it be? Would stores even bother selling it? And now it's time to wrap things up with our listener question. Today we're taking a question from our good friend Jessica. She's writing to us from Ohio saying, Brian, how does supply and demand impact healthcare prices? Is that market any different? That is a great question, Jessica, and the healthcare system is definitely a tricky one, but the basics of supply and demand still matter. The big difference here is that people need healthcare no matter what it costs, and this is why a lot of folks are arguing on the other side of the aisle for more government involvement in healthcare. But here's the thing. Even in healthcare, free market ideas will lead to better results. Look at areas of healthcare where there's less government involvement and where people buy directly, like, let's say, LASIK eye surgery or cosmetic stuff. Over time, we've seen those prices go down dramatically while the quality increasingly goes up. People are still debating on how to balance the free market ideas with making sure everyone gets healthcare, but that's just not an easy problem to solve from the top down. And I think that if we bring more market forces into healthcare, things like clear pricing and people being able to buy directly, it could go a long way towards bringing down costs and making overall care better. All right, folks, that's all we have for today's Brian's Briefing. Remember, economics isn't just for experts. It's literally something we all deal with every single day, whether we're buying some of Benny's bananas or making some big business decision. So you need to stay informed, stay engaged, and of course, keep thinking hard about the world around you. This is Brian Nichols signing off. Until next time, keep questioning, keep learning, and of course, keep pushing for a freer, more prosperous world for all of us. And hey, maybe enjoy a banana while you're at it. Take care.
Thanks for listening to The Brian Nichols Show. Find more episodes at briannicholsshow.com.